So the fact that we're hitting 12,000 a month with one size cup, with one option of lid, with 6 glaze designs, with a pretty primitive website and, 400 followers on Instagram, like and that's profitable. Our gross profit on that is about 5,500, so we've got, and that margin should and will improve. So yeah, I can't complain. Like I'm just trying to think on the compass what are the things I look, and also even just like tracking the number of people signing up to our mailing list. We're at sort of about 15% of sort of site visits are signing up, and that's already in February. Like it's nearly 600 people who have signed up, which that in itself like is pretty mad, to think how many people when we do launch a new product that we can be targeting. And I don't know. I mean, it was so easy with the course to go through Klaviyo and just sort of set it without really even sort of thinking too much about it. Like, I plan to go over all of our emails, improve everything, but sort of following it, just that alone, like there's so much value in the sort of prescriptive nature if you're new to this industry. We've been sort of investing about 50 to 60 pounds a day on our testing and seeing anywhere, I mean, we've had a couple of days close to 600 pounds revenue, which has been amazing. Sometimes you look at a day in the ads manager and you see your cost per purchase is like £1.50 on an ad set. To think that what we can do with our average order value, to think what we could do with the lifetime value of customers. I'm really looking forward to being able to add an extra zero onto the daily ad spend, to add an extra zero onto the revenue each day. And I'm feeling sort of confident to do that given the testing that we've done. But it's been such a nice bit of early validation to take a little bit of pressure off me, to sort of know that, okay, we've sort of ticked the first couple of boxes. We've got to this sort of stage where, there's an opportunity here. If we keep doing what we're doing, we're seeing some consistent revenue. It feels like, we should be able to just keep increasing all of the metrics and see it in that daily compass. Like that's one of the other things that I found, when you first look at the course, you first look at some of those spreadsheets, it's a little bit overwhelming. It's a lot of data, a lot of numbers. And I'm more of the ideas creative sort of naturally. I've never loved the number side. But I do love the analytical side of just I guess adding context, sort of quantifying what you're actually achieving through the creative work. And like anything, as soon as you understand it, it's no longer complicated. And so the campaign compass, it decomplicates everything. It de-risks it. It adds guidance to your decision making. And yeah, I look forward to most days sort of filling it out, and then tinkering around with the KPIs to see, well, if we do this and we do this, and where could we be in a few months' time when we're able to add this much additional ad spend, to our budget. It's been a really, I mean, that alone, I mean, businesses would pay a lot of money just for the template, like to see what to to pull through, what they should. And so yeah, it's just I think overall the course has made me feel as though I've got a head start and I've got a lot of additional work already done and a lot of figuring out already laid out, a lot of answers there when I need them, so that I can, my time, I'm more efficient with my time. And that is, if you've got a product, got a business, time is the one sort of, I guess, hindrance in growth. So we sell ceramic coffee cups, travel cups, and they retail for £26. and then obviously factoring in things like welcome discounts, it meant that our margins were relatively tight. And through your course and just looking at information elsewhere, I was quite mindful of us needing, we had less margin for error when it came to getting creative hooks right and making sure there was a product that people actually wanted. But we've been able to hit, we're sitting at about a 5 times ROAS currently on average, and it's gone as high as sort of 8 or 9. We are mostly green in our compass, in the campaign compass, and this is all really at a testing phase. I chose to do this ahead of us launching. And so I bought the course back in the summer. I knew that I had time. I had to be balancing my recovery journey. I was spending a lot of time. For a long period, I couldn't even look at a screen without getting a migraine. Long story short, I ended up getting long COVID, a really nasty case of long COVID. And I'm still on a healing journey, but it meant I couldn't work for 2 years, and I ended up losing my previous business. And a part of my recovery was really sort of reassessing, well, every aspect of my life, but looking at what would really give me purpose. I think when you got an illness that's linked to your nervous system and it goes completely dysregulated, working on things and doing things that really brings you sort of joy and purpose is a really powerful way of widening the sort of window of tolerance within your nervous system. And so I guess, yeah, I was then reassessing what I would like to do with my life, with my career, but also balancing that decision with needing something that, given my health challenges and the time that I need to devote to recovery, I needed something that I could really focus on building strong processes, build strong systems, and be prepared for having to step back occasionally. It was the first sort of course or product that I'd come across that felt to fit with my own thinking around, building these strong foundations, understanding, like a new industry to me, understanding it at a level that even if I did want to outsource or get support from an agency, I want to be able to sort of understand what they do at a granular level. I want to be able to do it, even if I'm not choosing to do it myself. This is probably the most structured learning I've done since school. And, I read infinite amounts, I absorb podcasts, but structured learning, really methodically going through something because you need to understand the process and you need to build something. You need to construct something with good foundations. I guess my advice to people, or sharing based on my own experience and story, you can never get started too early with this work. In that, if you're deciding to build an e-commerce business and you're contemplating learning and you're contemplating getting support and you're contemplating this course specifically, then doing it sooner will just give you, it will reduce your propensity for making mistakes. It will, improve, increase the likelihood of you getting things right the first time round. It will save you huge amounts of time. And I guess the advice is, like, if you truly believe in your product and you hopefully have validated it in some way, and or validate it in as many ways as you can, then you'll understand that your job is to just not fuck it up. Like, if you've got a product that people want, and that means that there's an opportunity there, then everything is about your process, your systems, and just getting it right. And I think, as I've alluded to a few times, that's the course is a safety net. You might be fine without it, but there will be things that take longer, that may end up costing you more, that you miss opportunities, and you won't move anywhere near as quickly unless unless you've got someone next to you every day who has done it before.